influx and proliferation of firearms in Nigeria has not only become a thing of major concern to government, relevant agencies, as well as the people of Nigeria, but also to the international community. This has no doubt been a significant factor in the resurgence of criminal activities, including kidnappings, banditry, terrorism, and more recently a series of attacks on custodial centers in different parts of the country. You will agree that most of these criminal tendencies were alien to Nigeria and Nigerians in years gone by. Now, how did Nigeria get to this point where all types of firearms can be seen on the streets and seem readily available to criminals? Who are their allies? What should relevant authorities do to stop this dangerous trend? And where is Nigeria headed should this menace continue unabated? These are questions guests shall be providing answers to on this edition of the program Nigeria Today. Welcome, I'm Dennis Adigunloye. So with me in the studio to discuss issues surrounding how to check the influx of firearms into Nigeria is a security expert in person of Dominion Ajom. You're very welcome to Nigeria Today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we will hopefully be having a second guest joining us later via Zoom, but let's get to that when the time comes. For now, we'll start with our guest in the studio, Mr. Dominion. In times past, arms and ammunition were restricted to just a few security personnel, but now they are even in the hands of criminals everywhere. How did Nigeria get to this point where these arms and ammunition are readily available to just about anyone on the streets?
Yeah, thank you very much. Indeed, it's a situation that is really, really worrisome. Like you rightly mentioned earlier, before this time, aspect of insecurity and handling of arms was something we used to hear from a distance. Wild West, we used to hear that these things happen out there, and it was something that was strange in our country. But today, the reverse is the case, and this is as a result of so many reasons. Reasons such as, like first and foremost, our political system. When we want to get our leaders, what do? Because we don't want to run elections the proper way, we make use of political talks. And what does that mean? It means that when these politicians want to ensure that they get it by all means, they import arms, get all manner because they have what it takes to afford these, and hand them over to the wrong people for their own selfish interests. And at the end of the day, it will not be easy for them to retrieve any of them. So these ones now will make it possible for arms to be in the hands of the wrong people. Also, in most of our states, locally here, we have arms manufacturing industries hidden. People don't know. If you go to most cases here, this locally made pistols, locally made guns, and what have you, they are done there. So people have access who are by right are not supposed to have access to these weapons. They have them. Then those who equally import, they are importing. Those who are smuggling, they are smuggling them. So there are different ways, channels of these arms coming into the country, and if it is not checked, the situation will even degenerate worse than it is now.
Sure, and this calls into question the issue of border controls. You said a lot of these firearms are coming in by various means. So what is the issue concerning border control? Is it laxity on the part of the relevant authorities or collusion?
Well, you will agree with me that in Nigeria here, the border controls, our borders are very, very porous. Yeah. You will agree with me. There are no two ways about it. And if they are as porous as they are, then you will agree with me that smuggling arms will be something that will be done with ease. Our attention, like I have always said, when we're talking about security matters in this country, we are just reactionary. We react to them instead of being proactive. We know that the hoodlums are there planning and strategizing on what to do. But we relax until when these things have gotten into the wrong hands and they begin to use them to cause havoc before we do. So I feel we need to beef up security in our borders. In the areas where we know that arms can be smuggled into the country, we have, even, you know, human beings are smuggled too. There are a lot of people who are causing harm in this country who are actually not Nigerians, but they find their way in, and they even come in with weapons. So we need to beef up security in our borders.
And how would you say that this beefing up of security will be achieved? I mean, we've heard it time and time again that we need tighter border controls and all the rest of it. So how can this be achieved to get the desired results, especially when it comes to checking influx of firearms?
Yeah, we have our borders, we know our borders, and it is no longer news that the security there is very, very porous. So I feel the government should, if they have manned people there and they are not getting results, you know, they say the only thing that is permanent in life is change.
Yeah.
Now they have put people there to see to it that they check these things, and sometimes they compromise, because not most of them, they see these things, but when they compromise by things exchanging hands and they let them in, I feel that they should introduce technology. This is a technological time, you know, so I feel they should get devices that can detect these things, and when they detect that somebody is moving in, you don't need to go search somebody by touching somebody, you understand? As soon as the person, like we have in most of our airports,
yeah.
even on our land borders, we should be able to introduce such things so that anybody that is coming in will be checked, will be screened to know that if he's hiding anything, they will check such things. And also they should see to it that those areas that smugglers pass through, you know, smugglers don't pass through legal means, you understand me? They should check those areas and make sure they control access as much as possible, so that whosoever is entering the country will not be able to enter through the back door, and smuggling will be greatly reduced. Even our waterways, because most of these people even smuggle through our waterways. There should be patrols even up to night time, because most smugglers operate mostly at night. They are nocturnal beings. So those are some of the things I think should be done.
So you feel there's a lot of challenges with regards to neighboring countries like Niger Republic and Cameroon with regards to these influx?
Oh, sure. They are. I am from Cross River State, for instance, and you know, at night when people are supposed to be sleeping, you hear boats moving, engine boats, flying boats, and everything moving, speedboats, I mean. You know, what are those people doing at night on the sea? And it's applicable to all other borders like Niger Republic. So many influx of non-Nigerians into the country, and you don't know what their mission is. And I think Nigeria is one of the countries that you know, you can just enter freely. It's not like that in other nations. And once you are here, you are here.
Yeah. As
long as maybe you speak one of the languages here, you are
blending very well.
That's it.
Yeah, which is another dimension to the problem. All right, it appears our guest via Zoom is now with us, retired police officer Dashi Abubakar Haruna. You're welcome to Nigeria Today, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
All right, so just give us your own take on what the root cause of this problem is in the country with the influx of firearms into the country. Where is the main challenge that the country and the authorities are facing?
Thank you very much. The influx of arms and ammunition in our country, in the first place, our borders are so porous that it makes it difficult for our security agencies to handle. And the neighboring communities in the country are not helping matters. Some of the neighbors are agents from Nigeria. They import arms and ammunition into this country. Honestly, I must have to commend President Buhari in the first place for the border closure. If I were to be the one, I wouldn't allow it to be open now. Unfortunately, the security agencies also are not helping matters. Ships coming into this country, you will see that they bring arms and ammunition and exchange for whatever they wish to get. This is not good for us. Again, we are having a lot of problems, especially in the riverine areas. You see boat flying in the night, as my brother has earlier said, is to import arms and ammunition. Unfortunately, our communities that have border with other countries, they are not helping matters either. They contribute in allowing these people to enter with this country with arms and ammunition, which is not good for us. The security agencies, I know very well that the customs, the immigration, the police, and the Navy especially are doing their best, but they need to do more. They are not doing up. They are not living up to expectation. You see, the issue now is that some of them, they compromise. They allow arms and ammunition to be illegally imported into this country. This is so bad for us. It is not good for us. And secondly, I feel government also should
All right, slight freeze with our guest via Zoom, but we will shortly get back to him. No doubt you concur with a lot of what he said about the porousness, you even said it yourself, porousness of the borders. And would you say there's an issue of lack of manpower on the part of the security agencies? Is it
well, the issue of lack of manpower in the security agencies, if you agree with me, is no longer news. It's something that we know it's a major challenge, you know. But beyond that, there are other strategies that should be put in place to ensure that, you know, when you, it's how you place your priorities. Now, when we say lack of manpower, and you see our politicians, sorry to mention, one politician will carry like a trailer load of armed men, and where we need them, we don't have them there. Yes, it's true, we lack manpower in the military, in the paramilitary sectors, and other security agencies. But then, what attention are we really giving to these areas? Because if we do, and we consider them as areas of priority, we will definitely know what to do and how to boost the manpower within there to make sure we achieve results for the interest of all. So I think it's necessary.
All right, let's get back to our guest via Zoom, retired police officer Mr. Dashi Abubakar Haruna. What in your view is the way forward in terms of punitive measures for those caught with illegal firearms? Are the laws tight enough, or do they need tightening, or is this a case of lack of enforcement? What is your view on this?
Please come in again.
With regards to those who are potentially caught with firearms, do you think the laws need to be tightened in terms of punitive measures, or is it a case of a lack of enforcement? What is your view?
Well, even though I'm not hearing you well, but I think stiff measures, stiff punishment in regard to arms and ammunition, if properly carried out, this thing will be minimized to the barest movement. People have been arrested severally with arms and ammunition. The next thing you hear that they have been granted bail, and the case will die like that. And what I am also appealing is that the federal government should also look into the recruitment of these security agencies so that they can meet with the demand of our security. You see, another thing I think is that whistleblowing also should be brought into this area. Because if there is whistleblowing, honestly, you will achieve 80% of what I'm telling you now.
I would agree with you on that point, but staying with you, Mr. Dashi, whistleblowing, maybe potentially in other countries, there's police protection. There's police protection on that issue, but I'll come back to that after this short break. The program is Nigeria Today. Do stay with us. We'll be right back after this break. right, you're welcome back. The program is Nigeria Today. On NTA News 24, we are discussing issues surrounding the influx of firearms into Nigeria. Our guests are security experts, Dominion Adjom, and joining us via Zoom is retired police officer Dashi Abubakar Haruna. Mr. Haruna, just before the break we were talking about whistle blowing. Some of these criminals with arms are known in their environments, and traditional rulers as well as the members of the communities have a role to play in terms of this, but there's also the fear of reprisal. Like in other crimes, they might have what we know as protection and anonymity and that kind of thing. What would you say can be done to improve the confidence levels of the citizens in terms of whistleblowing?
Please come in. You are not loud from my end. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
I'm not hearing you well. Please be loud. Louder than.
In terms of whistleblowing, Mr. Haruna, how do you say the situation in terms of whistleblowing can be improved for those in the communities, the traditional rulers as well as indigents? They might fear reprisal attacks if they come forward with information about those who are in possession of illegal firearms. How can they be given more protection and have more confidence to come forward?
Well, even though I'm not hearing you well, but I have said it before, communities, honestly, the problem of arms proliferation in this country, communities also have to do more. We have to help security agencies in order to minimize this arms proliferation. Coming to government, now appealing that government should equip the law enforcement agencies so that they can be able to meet the challenges. But often, you see, government will say we have ordered this for security agencies, but nothing will be shown for what they have been saying. So I am not really hearing you well, but I think what we have to do, I am recommending that arms and ammunition, there should be stiffer penalty. As I earlier said, communities should assist the law enforcement agencies so that this thing, without the cooperation of the general public of the communities where we have those borders, we will not achieve meaningful result.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Arun. I'll come back to you once our connection with you gets a bit better. Let me put that question to our guest in the studio. In terms of whistleblowing and feelings of being protected if you come forward, how can we improve this situation?
Yeah, you will agree with me that, you know, one thing we need to understand is for the security operatives, it's very easy to know them because you can identify them, they're on uniform. But the criminals out there, you see they've been mixed up with other citizens, so it's difficult to know them. It could be your neighbor. It could be your neighbor. So I am of the opinion that whistle blowing, for as regard that, is quite risky because the person blowing the whistle does not know who is the next person. They say even the walls have ears. You understand me? Especially when, like in the national orientation, they have this slogan: you see something, when you see something, you say something. You hear something, you say something. Now you discover that most often when people try to do that, in the past we've had cases where people try to blow whistles like that, and at the end of the day, you see them being squeezed to the point of wanting them to say even what they don't know. And at the end of the day, they are the ones who suffer, because sometimes the people that they reported end up getting to know, oh, it was so and so person that reported you, and they go back to them, and of course they will be the ones to lose. Their families will lose them if anything happens. So we really need to be careful. If these people are not protected and we think we want to use them, I think we have to be cautious when we're doing that.
And following on from that, you talked earlier about technology. We're living in technological times. In terms of intelligence gathering, how well do you think the country is doing generally with security?
Well, I don't think we
what happened at the in Imo State just a few days ago.
Yes, the jailbreak and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we are doing enough in terms of intelligence gathering. If we were, like I did mention, we react to these things. We are never proactive. You know, intelligence gathering has to do with being proactive, and if you do that, you discover that it gives you an edge over the hoodlums who are planning. You will be able to stop it from happening. Like they say, prevention is better than cure. I mean, okay, I heard of a recent attack on the soldiers who were leaving from Katsinala, going to Oju to deliver for reinforcement. I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yeah.
That they were attacked by bandits around the Conscitia axis or something, and at the end of the day, they carted away with the weapons. What is going to happen to those ones? They made away with about 28 million naira cash and so many other things. Now, with such things, you will agree with me that it's going to be part of what they will be using to terrorize Nigerians. So I am thinking that if we are doing enough in the area of intelligence gathering, you discover that it will be, I mean, we will not be facing the situation, the kind of situations we are facing now. Let's say, for instance, these hoodlums, before they go for any attack, they carry out espionage activities. They go to spy, you know, survey, you understand me, to be sure that they are sure they're not going to meet with serious resistance. Now, if we are doing well in terms of intelligence gathering, we should be able to have people planted. I know of what the military and the paramilitary used to do, where they would disguise as maybe petty traders, selling cola and all, sometimes even as a lunatic. You know, to be able to gather intelligence. But such things are hardly happening. We have these people, even our schools that are being attacked. Do we have any previous information? They just come and do it. Okay, imagine like the incident that took place in Ogun State, like I always refer. These hoodlums opened up the fence 5 days before going in for the attack. Nothing was done about it. Even the people in the school did not even know what to do with that. Terrible. They left it like that. So we are not doing enough. I feel much more should be done.
Sure. All right, let me give the last word to our guest via Zoom, retired police officer Haruna. Mr. Haruna, can you hear me?
Hello, Kwame.
Yep, just give us your final thoughts on this issue, especially in terms of improving intelligence gathering. Very briefly, please.
Please, intelligence gathering in all security agencies is one of the critical sectors of investigation also. But it has been neglected. If there is intelligence, competent intelligence gathering, we will have no problem in this country. But because we lack competent intelligence gathering, or it has been neglected for long, so that thing is creating a lot of loopholes in our security system. The intelligence departments of either the SSS, police, Navy, and so on, they should be trained and retrained, well equipped. If this is done, honestly, we will have no problem.
All right. Thank you, retired police officer Dashi Abubakar Haruna. Many thanks for taking the time to share your thoughts with us on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am Abubakar Abdullahi Dashi, not Haruna.
All right, sir. Noted. Apologies for that, sir. And thanks to our guest in the studio, security expert Dominion Ajom. Many thanks for sharing your thoughts as well.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. All right, sir. Thanks for you out there for watching. Remember, Nigeria Today is live at 7:30 in the evening every weekday. You can also watch this and other editions on youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. I'm Dennis Adigunloy. Thanks for your company.